Hey, good morning. Pete, North Las Vegas. Got my new barrel in Friday evening. Let's take a look at it. So the first thing we notice is it showed up dry. There's no protective oil or corrosion preventative on it. It did show up in this blue corrosion preventative bag. Corrosion preventative packaging. But other than that, the barrel showed up completely dry. So there's the Colt cage code 13629. It looks like yellow paint, like they use that as an inspection marking for the gas port, maybe. Just guessing why that's there. This back here was a little bit annoying when I saw the little bit, it looks to be like corrosion, a little bit of rust around the pin. The other thing is the pin sits above the extension mounting ring here. And I don't think that's going to be a problem, but we'll find out here at some point during the video when we start test fitting parts if that pin sticking up above the lug ring here on the extension is going to be any kind of problem. Okay, so on the muzzle end here, there is like little or no chamfer. It's almost maybe the slightest chamfer or radius. Most barrels that I've used in the past, Wilson Combat, Criterion, and Wilson barrels for Rock River arms, there's always been a pretty generous chamfer in here to help protect the rifling on the muzzle end here. And this thing looks like it's just, the chamfer is almost like non-existent. It's not a huge deal. I'm putting a muzzle device, an A2 compensator on here, so it won't get damaged, but I'm just not used to seeing that. Barrel extension looks pretty good from the outside. We're going to borescope this barrel also, so we'll take a look at the chamber. And okay, so one other thing, my understanding is that maybe Roscoe is making barrels for Colt. I don't know that for a fact. But you can see there's an R stamped here on the chamber area. So there might be something to that this barrel is actually made for Colt by Roscoe. Like I said, I don't know. Maybe you guys that really know your Colts, you can tell me what's going on here with some of the new Colt stuff. Okay, well, let's dig a little deeper. Maybe we'll start off with a borescope and see what's going on inside. Okay, so the gas port looks pretty good. It's a pretty clean hole, maybe just a little bit of leftovers on the very edge there. These streaks, I'm going towards the muzzle end, and these copper streaks in here just means that it looks like the barrel has been proof tested. So they put a few test rounds through it. That's why all this copper buildup. Once the barrel is cleaned up, I'm sure it's going to look really nice. But we'll come down here to the muzzle end. I'm not going to show every square inch of the barrel, but you can see there is a slight chamfer from what I was talking about in the beginning of the video, but man, it's a really small one. Okay, so we'll come in from the other side and we'll take a look at the chamber and the back side of the extension lugs. So the back side of the lugs look pretty good. The chamber looks pretty good. Okay, there's one of the lands. Generally, I like to kind of see them starting in about the same place. And you can see that land seems to start right about there. And that one is maybe just the way it looks on the camera. Okay, like I said, I'm not going to show you guys every square inch of this barrel, but overall it looks pretty good. So I'm happy with what it looks like on the inside. Here's some more of that copper streaking left over from proof testing. The barrels that have been proof tested, this is normal. Like I was saying, once we get a brush in here and get it cleaned up, all that copper stuff will disappear. All right, enough of the borescope. Okay, so this is a bore straightness gauge from Pacific Tool and Gauge. And this one is certified and calibrated to be within 1/10,000th of an inch. Okay, not 1,000th, 1/10,000th. So we'll stick this bore gauge in the barrel. Make sure that's all good. Okay, see if it drops through. Okay, so it looks like the barrel's straight. Okay, these gauges probably really aren't necessary unless you run into a problem during a normal head spacing and you want to try to determine whether it's an extension to a chamber relationship problem or if it's just a regular head spacing. You still have to do regular head spacing even though you use these, because you still need to do your head spacing on the BCG or the bolt that you actually plan to use. So this just gives you an indication as to whether all this relationship in here is good without the actual bolt. So let's see if this go gauge works. Okay, it goes in and rotates on a go. This is a nice snug fit, so this is going to be a tight chamber to extension relationship. And as I was saying in the previous clip, you still have to do your regular head spacing with the bolt that you plan on using. But this will give you an indication as to whether the chamber and extension relationship are where they should be. And like I said, this is a nice snug fit. So I won't be using the no-go because there's just no reason to use the no-go with this snug as this is fitting. So just using an extension gauge, I'm comfortable sending this barrel out now to get the front sight base mounted without having an actual bolt or the bolt off the BCG that I'm going to use. Okay, so earlier in the video we were talking about how that pin is sitting a little bit high. At least I thought so. And it looks like I'm probably right about that. So what I'm going to do is take a punch and a hammer and just see if I can tap that pin down just a little bit to where it's below the bottom of the threads. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can tap it down a little bit and at least get it flush. And if tapping it down doesn't work, I guess maybe I'll have to take a needle file, and I may sacrifice a feeler gauge just so as I'm filing the pin, I don't grind into the flange. But yeah, I don't like where it's sitting. It's when you tighten up your barrel nut, it elongates these threads and makes them thinner and pulls them down. So even though maybe the barrel nut, which I just got done test fitting, slides over that without interfering, as you torque this down, it could become a problem. And that's just too close. It's just ever so slightly out of whack. So like I said, I'm going to try to tap it down a little bit more, see what happens. Okay, I gave it about 2 or 3 gentle taps, and it looks like we got it just ever so slightly below the bottom of the thread cuts. So I'm going to give it just like 2 or 3 more light taps, and we'll see if we can get it down just a little bit more. but the pin did move, so we're on the right track. Okay, I gave it a few more whacks and I was able to just get the pin just slightly below the bottom of the thread cut there. So I think we'll be good. We'll test fit the barrel nut and see if there's any interference. Okay, so I don't feel any interference or any drag over that pin screwing the barrel nut on, so I think we're good there. It's close, but it'll be fine. We'll get this snugged up and we'll check the feed ramp, see how they look inside the receiver. Okay, so the feed ramp cuts on the receiver and the barrel extension look good. You can see the barrel is just ever so slightly forward, maybe about a thou. So by the time I actually get done tightening up that barrel nut, it'll be like a perfect fit. So no complaints on the barrel extension cuts. Okay, so the FSB fits pretty good. It's just slightly on the loose side, but it's not bad. It'll work out just fine. Because the Colt 727 or RO727 uses a fixed carry handle, you should use a standard height A2 front sight base, not the F marked. The correct sight base would be standard, not F marked. This is a standard height. And if you go to a bunch of places online, they'll tell you the number is 1.940, but actually nominal is 1.942. You'll find some pictures online where people have just rounded them off. But anyway, and this one comes in right at 1.942. And that number is from the top of your barrel to the very top of the shelf on the top of the front sight base. So that's where that number comes from. Okay, we're going to test fit this A2 compensator and see how we like the threads. And then I think we're just about done with all this. Okay, so the threads feel good. You can see where we're just a little bit overclocked here. So in order for this to be where it needs to be, we're going to have about a gap about that size. And I usually end up using Surefire shims. On a Colt 727, they did not use a crush washer. So I do have some actual peel washers, but they're kind of a pain in the butt. And I usually just put shims back here, and the Surefires fit pretty good. Same type of shims you use when you're doing your muzzle devices for a suppressor. So we'll get some shims back here and get this thing clocked just right. And I think we've talked about most of it. The 727 did use a M4 profile barrel. Oh, you know what? I forgot one thing. Okay, so on the handguard end cap, I did run across some information saying that on the earlier 727s, they possibly could have came with just a solid round carbine type end cap. But most of my research and the pictures I found of an actual 727 showed the M4 style with the notches cut out for the M203 grenade launcher. So this will be the end cap that we're going to use on the barrel for the handguard. So I believe this is the correct one, even though the 727s may have also come with these. I've already test fitted on the end of the handguard. It's a good fit. It's not quite as tight or snug as I would like it to be, but it's not bad at all. And I got this particular one from CMFG. Okay, so now I think we got everything covered. Overall, the Colt barrel's pretty good. Did not like the corrosion around the pin. Did not like the fact that the pin was sticking up above the extension lug flange. But other than that, I think we got a good barrel. We'll be getting this sent out to John at Retro Arms Works to get this barrel drilled and pinned for the front sight base, standard A2 for this build. Okay, Pete, North Las Vegas, over and out.